Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, May the 26th. So, hope everybody is doing great, having a happy Wednesday, getting ready for a big Memorial Day this weekend. So, I want to look at the S&P. We'll start with the ES. In fact, let me get over here. And I want to show you a couple things here. We'll look at the ES because that's how it relates a little more accurately to what we're talking about here. Um, but we had this Tuesday. This was the overnight session. We hit 42.12, and then this is Tuesday actual day session here. And we came in, and I'll detail these levels here a little bit for you in a minute. But anyway, we came in. I had a level there at 41.85. I'll show you that. We bounced. We had timing for a low. We bounced, and I was looking for this thing to come back up and retest this level all day today. And as you can see, this is the overnight session last night. We came back and we tested the skyline twice, and then we started selling back off. We came back down and retested that. So the market there's a lot of indecision here. So I was expecting all day, especially here. I thought that we would keep going and at least test this and probably break through and go like this. And we didn't. We just kind of chopped down here into the middle of, kind of nothing. Let me get this back to a one-day chart and show you. So if you look at this, this is the day today, and we're just chopping sideways. But if we go back out here and put this on a longer time frame, and again, I'm just looking at the ES here. We'll switch to S&P just to show you what that looks like. If we look at the S&P here on a longer term, it's a one-year chart. It's not that long, but this to me continues. I told you guys in last week's video that when we got kind of this double bottom, now we did technically kind of come through this thing a little bit right there. It's not exact science, but there's a big fire line right here, right? And right, fire line, and we're bouncing off of it. And there's a skyline. Next skyline is up there at 42.50. There's our all-time high, 42.38, and so we are about 40 points from that. And I'm looking at this, trying to figure out. Of course, we're always trying to figure out what we're going to do. And I like to think of it in week terms. What's it going to do by this Friday? That type thing. So we're about 40 points away. The expected move right now. This is the S&P. Right now is 34 points. So does it make sense that we get up to that by this Friday? Yeah. The math says yes. It's definitely possible. Now, we'll get there or not. I don't know. A lot will depend on the overnight action tonight, and what happens today was not anything to write home about. It was very, very choppy, and we didn't get any momentum. So, if we get some overnight action here, and then tomorrow, we absolutely could be there by Friday, right? Or, overnight session, we take out this skyline here, and we come back down here, and it decides it wants to retest this fire line before then bouncing up here. Now you're talking about 2 weeks right here. So I don't know which one's going to happen, but again, this is very, very sloppy, choppy action. And let me show you this real quick. I want to show you guys on the if you look at fib levels, this was Tuesday, yesterday. I was looking at these levels, and this is on a 120-minute chart on the ES, and as you can see here, we had timing for a low right there off of 41, basically 41.80, 41.79.5, 41.80, right? Timing for a low to bounce, and that's right there. And you guessed it, we got to 41. You see that wick down there? We got to 41.82, so roughly about 41.80 or so. We bounced, and again, this is where I was thinking, well, this thing may keep going up here and just keep going, and we'll be back up here and everything will be great, right? And it failed, and it came down here. So the interesting thing is today, if we fast forward over here, try to get all this in here, we can see it. This is the 30-minute ES chart today. See the 41.77 to 41.80. That was that low. For a bounce back up here. And again, the target up here is 42.13, which was that one. That's what I'm looking at. So tight range bound, going nowhere today. So everything's going to depend, on what happens over the next couple of days. If we're gonna pop up there and grab a new all-time high, just in time for Memorial Day, which would make sense. Holiday, this is not a short week. Next week will be. Monday's a holiday. It would make sense that we do. Holiday weeks are always tricky, and going into a holiday is always tricky because you have two sides of the coin. You have, one theory is the big boys are, leave today, and maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's why the market's flat. They leave and they go to the beach, and so the market's very flat, no volume. But you don't have to have a lot of volume to get a big move, right? Generally, or we get some momentum and it pushes higher and all that kind of stuff. So, we'll see. Tomorrow will be a real interesting day. I've got a trade on up there at 40. I've got a butterfly up there at 42.40. So I'm actually pulling for the bulls on this one. If we pull back, I've got trades down lower, so it'll be fine. But I think, if you look at this, the only way to look at this right now, especially in the, in the bigger picture, is we're either going to go there sooner or later. So it's either going to happen, like this or like this. I think, because this is still bullish. There's nothing that's not bullish about that. So I'm going to stick to that theory, and without any news. If we had some news about it, the fear's been inflation. That's the thing that's been, dragging the market down a little bit. That's one thing. If we had some news, whatever, yeah, that can be a whole different scenario. But for right now, I'm still looking at this higher. I did want to talk about the S&P because that's the overall look of the entire market, and I don't really have any many individual names that I am actively moving. I am in Generac, GNRC. I think I told you guys this. I think it was last week. I have this going long, and this is generators, and hurricane season's coming up and all that kind of stuff. I think we'll probably get a nice little pop out of here. But I really don't have much else, that I'm interested in. Chipotle, CMG. But other than that, I'm just watching the indexes, the S&P and the NASDAQ and the RUT. So that's what I've got. Hope this makes sense. Hope it helps. And you guys have a great rest of the week. We'll see what we get the next couple of days, and then have a great holiday weekend. Thanks for the time, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me